Kamara, Donovan Clingan, and Delano Banton. The starters for the Lakers, it'll be Markieff Morris, longtime veteran, 30th. That's when he had a career-high minutes as well with 29. Number of players, of course, not playing here this afternoon. Most notably, LeBron James and Luka Doncic are out.
Now getting the first start. Now, of course, people want to see LeBron. They want to see the dad, but they're very excited about this young man and really get behind him.
LeBron played 22 minutes. You remember Tom Haberstroh saying, I'm watching the Laker game, and LeBron went back to the locker room with a groin issue. Here's Banton driving into the lane.
Ball over on the baseline after making a solid move along the baseline.
Banton down ahead of Clingan into the lane, lay it up and in despite Morris reaching.
Responded quite well, and we saw some really great basketball during that time.
Yeah, thanks, Brooke. And that Lamar was back in mid-January. But if you go back further than that,
told them they better be insomniacs all night as Matisse gets a
Bailey, who's seen quite a bit. And Harper, Bronny James tees up the three. Long ball, grabbed by Murray on the push, up the floor, the 1-2. Galloping dribble right to the window. Cooper flag, but you know, your chances are slim, but that's the value of landing at number 9. Played 19 minutes a game at USC, he's freshman.
Nice, huh?
Tyrese Smith, Danny Moran, Joe Simons have the hot takes, insider insights, and the Blazers postgame show every night. Glad to do it.
It's very kind of,
you know, put some Cops and Robbers music behind it, some Mannix theme music from the 70s. Yeah, we'll dress that baby up. 0.6 blocks per game. And a three-pointer he's not afraid to use to the tune of about 28%.
See, you only got to tell him once usually, and then he'll make the change, and then he becomes that defensive force we have seen him become. Delano, this is one of those investigations. You know how Wob on Twitter will do a Wob investigation?
Yeah.
Again, we got to get to the bottom of Mark Mason does not make mistakes. Of when he was asked about having a star, how important is that to already have? And he went down a list of teams
they're going to have for their play-in, and they want to keep their guys fresh and keep them in kind of rhythm before the playoffs happen. I feel like you want to be at the top of your...
I want to see some of these final teams he's got. MVP, Coach of the Year, so forth. Sixth man. What am I missing? Vincent outside triggers. Banton's shot short. Clingan recovers. And late. You think you could do what Burns does back there, pushing all those buttons?
Not a chance.
That fader thing that he's got going on there. I think he could come out here and do. I get upset running all that stuff, having to work with the likes of Greg and Russ. Come on. I get just flat upset. Crawford, I mean, it goes with that.
People always try to build culture on the floor and in the front office, and you try to do the same thing within your departments. Nice pass there from...
Well, we don't want to butter him up too much because something tells me he's going to come back and freelance and do a game or two.
Good.
Rupert outside.
Oh, nice shot, Rupe. And there was so much noise being made about it, partially because of his stats from college last season. And also, A.J. Johnson doesn't get the same type of positive praise and reinforcement when he does well as Bronny James. So
Simons is with us here this afternoon by way of the microphone that we have put over there on the bench where he resides with his...
You know, at first my community and the community wherever I get drafted at. And so we just kind of, you know, took baby steps, you know, to try to build a...
Y'all do throughout the year?
You know, just obviously we got the, you know, the scholarships. We give out scholarships for, just getting kids ready for school, mental health seminars. I'm big on mental health, especially as a young kid. I think that's something that's underappreciated, impact the kids that really need it.
You know, and the NBA is paying more and more attention, and I think it's been a great job out there. Hey, I was just asking you about Chauncey Billups and the extension of the contract. What have you seen from Chauncey and his evolution as a coach? Because I mean, you obviously go back to the days of Dame and CJ and making the playoffs, you know, having more and been a leader by example. Because that couldn't have been easy for you.
No, it definitely isn't easy at certain times.
You guys ever played a game? I remember you telling me that in practices you wanted to give Scoot Henderson and other guards a chance to bring the ball up the floor and feel safe in knowing that you don't have to have it every time, and you empower them that way. With some of the play we've seen, as Jabari Code, okay, exactly what I wanted to happen when I was thinking that last season. I'm starting to see it happen through them.
Yeah, and especially obviously this season, you got a lot of them become who they want to become, and also, you know, expand my game a little bit. Just working on off-ball movement, shooting.
Look forward to seeing you in the fall again.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Andy.
As always.
Anthony Simons with us. Dude can score. He's well within reach. Some good play going on right now. The Blazers lead here by 8. Banton out there along with Matisse Thybulle. Connect will fire, and he scores. 5, double clutching into the lane. That one swatted away and controlled by the Lakers.
He got fouled, but this game 82.
Len, nice pass. 5:18 to go. As you know, the Lakers have solidified number 3 right now in the standings of the West. Side adjustment into a 3. Matisse
mentally as healthy as they were maybe at one point in their careers. Matisse skies for the layup, and Matisse can tell you when he got to Philadelphia.
You know what I needed to from our producer, Greg Fonseca? I needed a little bit of masky pads and stuff. Yeah. And then I hear from the truck, it's spacing. Connect in the air, nowhere to go. He threw it right to Matisse Thybulle. He's got a 2-on-1 cooking into the lane, fakes, drives, and scores.
You would agree, and you said it's hard
for him
to believe. Oh, hard for Tom to believe it. See, so now you're just messing with Tom again.
Then I'm agreeing with
things I would normally do. I thought it was play on Sunday. I didn't know it was picture day.
That would be my guess. What is it? Recovered by Jemison. Saves it, but right to Thybulle. Hook pass ahead to Banton. Belt high dribble, inside out. He deeks. Connect.
Too late.
Shooting, and lots of it. And certainly he adds to the considerable depth of this Laker ball club. Austin Reeves obviously not playing 3. Ron James playing 70 games this year. 40-year-old.
This young group, we just got to look at it, Kev, but with 3 of them involved in that action. It was nice. I'll probably confirm at some point, but yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of that.
Nightly News, a new way. Join Barry Mangold office. Surveying the talent, getting ready for the draft. Waiting, of course, for the lottery in May. Ronnie James. Then it's kicked, I thought, up ahead to Morris. Off the connect. Good looking shoot.
Delano's first charge that he took this season. He took one last season as well. So 1 is the magic number. There goes 1 assist to Tamani.
Connect. On his way to the rack, high back.
Stuff makes a difference.
Kamara after the glass. Clingan comes up with it. The residue of the efforts from Kamara. He gets a 3 and drills. Clingan on a closeout. Milton tosses cross court. It is saved by Goodwin. Inside it comes to Len. Defended by Banton. Kamara for a triple. That is off. The rebound grabbed by Matisse to Kamara. Shovel pass inside the
They're still out here, turnover. Because the Blazers, they're still can really cause some problems. And they're on a string, and it's been one of the things about the Blazers this season as DC throws that lob.
Takes James off a screen, into the lane, scoop under Lynn. Nice play. Clingan is after. 2 attempts at it, 12 and 10.
Yeah, he wanted the foul too, but it's play through Sunday. Play through the contact. DC doesn't mind. Good roll.
Ziti. Oh, Ziti with the slam.
Now, right in front of him, out of the middle. So that's the mandate from the sideline, and the Blazers are cashing in on it.
The Frenchman with some savoir-faire. Cross court. Look out. Intercepted by Bronny James. Head on a swivel. Centering pass to Goodwin. Popped out his hands into the air and still make 2 minutes. Goodwin trying to shake Minaya. Moving his feet. Nice play with that.
Well, what's going on in the ether these days?
Kind of a slow Sunday morning. Well, Tom, we've got a minute here before we go to a break. What do you have for us? What's next on the trophy list?
The next Havers Trophy is going to...
Nice trophy, Tom. Way to use those stickums. We spare no expense on our broadcast. Sharp, 18 points, nearly 5 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 31% from 3. Nearly 7 shoots it well.
You're talking about mechanically shoots it well.
Yeah.
And yes, percentage-wise.
Fans on Fan Appreciation. Lamar a little disappointed that you weren't all over that axiom this afternoon. He's got 12. Blazers shooting 41% from beyond the arc, 13 to 32. Nice little play from the high.
Swooping in.
Pastry. Murray. I love you. Clean that mess up for you. Now that's the way our game started today. Fan appreciation began with the fans appreciating the fact that
Team's Defensive Player of the Year, second in defensive stops. He's the only player in the NBA who has guarded Steph Curry, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Nikola Jokic. I have MVP ballot, and we'll see where the Warriors end up here. They have a -4. They're down 4 early in the fourth quarter, which would mean
second. If you had to give a runner-up Havers Trophy for Defensive Player of the Year on the Blazers roster, no game minimum.
7th pick in the draft. I mean, 67 games, 36 starts, 6 and roughly 8 boards, and nearly 1.6. Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus. Maybe missing 1 or 2, but I mean that's the Mount Rushmore of ball. Here's Banton.
Yeah, 6 assists as well to go along with it, and 5 rebounds. Well-rounded game.
Doesn't connect. It's a deep one for that young fella. He drilled. Milton, a lot of action, but not going anywhere. Inside, Coloco out of Arizona.
Clotting issue. This is a play for Toronto.
Poked outside by Minaya to CD. Oh, they're looking.
Tamano. Okay, Tamano.
Tamano Imano.
Yeah.
Rupert up the floor. Or is Evan Turner? Lamar, thank you very much. Once again, it's been great partnering with you.
Hey,
my pleasure,
likewise,
my privilege to be with you and with Brooke Olzendam and our fine production crew, fine men and women. And your families.
Yes.
For allowing you to do this so intensely over the course of an NBA season.